Hello YouTube, this is Bash, bringing you the Krash Season 1 draft analysis video. Um, this league is, I'm actually one of the commissioners of it with Crypto Vibes. I'll put his link in the description as well as all the other teams and the Krash um, YouTube link, channel link. So so going to this draft, um there's a couple rules. So you had it was by um kind of like a point system from like 1 to like 18, I believe. And you draft 9 to 11 mons. You have to draft a Z crystal, and you have to draft a meme pick, which basically consisted of a 1 pointer or a 2 pointer. So going into this draft, we crypto randomized the draft, and guess who got first? Yeah, it was me. I can't believe that. I couldn't believe it, and that kind of put a lot of pressure to figure out what I really wanted for a first round pick and what really I think is worth a first round pick. Because it based I don't get another pick for like, so there's 12 teams in the league. Yeah, so I don't get another pick for like 24 picks. So I have to make this pick wisely. Um, so going to this first pick of the entire draft, I was contemplating between a couple mons. Tapu Koko, I was thinking about. I was thinking about Kieran Black, but I don't really like Kieran Black's weakness to rocks like that. Um, and let me see. And I believe I was looking at. Oh, I was looking at maybe getting a mega also, but I didn't really think that getting a mega for a first round pick of the entire draft was really where the way I wanted to go in this draft. So I decided to grab this Mon, and it's one of the tankiest Mons in the game, and its typing's absolutely amazing with only one other Mon having the same exact typing. And on top of that, it gets a beast boost, and you could probably tell already, it's Celesteela. My Stila. Base 97 HP, 101 attack, 103 defense, 107 special attack, 101 special defense, and 61 speed. 61 speed could be better, but Celesteela is definitely, in my opinion, worth a first round pick. Celesteela has so many setup options. Has a really good setup option, as long as its defenses are absolutely insane, and it's I would say is the best steel type in draft league format. Um, I think that steel types, bulky steel types, are really good for teams. And I got one of the bulkiest steel types in the entire game. This thing gets the leech seed. It could be really annoying with the leech seed leftover set, but it's like toxic, and it gets like heavy slam. It gets coverage moves, like insane coverage moves. It gets like superpower, fire blast, giga drain, energy ball. It's heavy slam, flash cannon, air slash. It's a really good mon, and I really like I really like Celesteela, and I honestly think its shiny form is actually pretty cool with that white. But um, yeah, Celesteela for me was definitely worth a first round pick, and I'm calling it Steela, my girl. Steela, I hope could put in a lot of work this season. I'm really hoping it does, and I'm gonna try to build a team that kind of fits around my Celesteela. So going to the next pick, it went all the way down, it came all the way back, and I wanted to grab a couple mons. I believe that I got sniped a couple times on the way back. Uh, I believe I almost grabbed. I wanted Zygarde, but that Bailey took that. Um, there's no way Tapu Koko was gonna get back to me, but Zygarde 50, I honestly almost thought it was gonna get back to me, but it didn't. Hope good thing. Well, not a good thing, but like I would have been insane. I wanted to pair this with maybe Mega Diancie, but I got Codster took that. Uh, yeah, yeah, that's really yeah. So coming in this pick, uh, I decided that I noticed. Okay, so I want a really good dragon type. I thought about that, but I also want a really good fairy type. And although you might be thinking maybe I'll get Mega Altaria, um, I forgot to mention, but these every two picks. So like my second and third pick are back to back because I'm a wheel pick, in the wheel pick, and then it goes all the way back down. It comes back all the way back, and I'm a wheel pick again. So these two picks are back to back. So I decided to grab a fairy type first, and it's a huge wall breaking fairy type. Not offensive really, although it has a very good special defense, and that is Mega Gardevoir. My darkness. That thing is that thing's shiny is absolutely amazing. And look at those stats. Base 165 special attack, base special defense 135, and base speed 100. That's insane. That's really good. And it has even base 85 attack, which is actually pretty sick too. And its ability Pixelate changes normal type moves into fairy type moves. Plus, it gets another boost, which is absolutely insane. So, Hyper Voice from Mega Gardevoir just hits so hard, and it like destroys mons. It's so hard to switch into. There's not many. There's a lot of mons that can't really switch in well to Mega Gardevoir because of its also it gets a lot of coverage moves as well. So that's really good. And with that base 165 special attack, it's just absolute monster. So that I thought that really paired with Celestia pretty well. It's also a wish passer if I really want to go that route because it's 68 HP isn't good for wish passing, but it could still work, and I feel like that it gives my team a little more variety and like options. Mega Gardevoir, could be a wall breaking set, a defensive set. It has Will O Wisp as well if I really want to run that. Gets Wish, Heal Bell, stuff like that. I believe. Let me check real quick. I'm not sure, but it might get Baton Pass. Let's see, because if it gets Baton Pass as well, that's actually just absolutely insane. Um, Carnivore. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't get Baton Pass. Oh well, but it's still, and it gets disable. It gets disable Encore for like those kind of utility sets or whatever. It gets setup options like Calm Mind. Um, it gets Calm Mind. It gets Sub. Well, obviously, like most mons get Sub. It gets Trick Room. It's a really good mon, I think, and I'm really excited to use this mon since this was my first Mega Pokemon in Draft League format, where the league did fall apart, but like this this mon was an absolute monster on that team, and I really hope it could be a monster on this team. Working with Celesteela, it could be. I really hope for a lot of things. And so my next pick um completes my Dragon Fairy Steel Core in Celestia Mega Gardevoir and this other mon. Um because you could probably guess it's a dragon type. And I really wanted a kind of bulky dragon type, but also one that could set up as well, which is very good. I wanted a lot of variety. Um, and because Celestia's main weaknesses are electric and only weaknesses are electric and fire. Dragon is a very important typing to kind of handle that. And so I decided to grab Komomo, my Terminator. This has three amazing abilities, and its stats are really good too. And it can set up both physically or especially offensive, and it could be defensive in either one either. Look at that. base 110 attack, base 125 defense, base 100 special attack, and base 105 special defense. This thing gets Dragon Dance, Autonomize, Close Combat, Dream Punch, Bulk Up. It gets Clanging Scales, which is actually insane too. Although I can't use Clangorious Scales because that move is that Z Crystal is broken and it wasn't in this league to be drafted anyway, which I didn't grab, so I couldn't grab it anyway. But Terminator works really well with these mons. I feel like, especially with Celesteela, with Terminator's weaknesses being Fairy, Dragon, Flying, and Psychic, which are all covered by Celesteela, and has Ice, which Celesteela could deal with really pretty well, although it's only neutral. And Celesteela's only weaknesses are Fire and Electric, which Momo could just eat up. So this thing gets Stealth Rocks as well, which is I kind of find really interesting. Um, and Bulletproof, Soundproof, and Overcoat could come in clutch this entire season because my opponents do not know which one I will be bringing. Um, yeah, because if they don't have the right moves for the right it could force them to it could force my opponents to use weaker moves to put on weaker moves so they don't have to be they can avoid the bullet proof, the soundproof overcoat, and on top of this, soundproof prevents heal bell from the opponent, which is very good. Because I could just status things, and then if they try to get a heal bell, I could just switch into this thing, and it can't get a heal bell off, which is amazing. So that is my Dragon Fairy Steel Core. And going into my next pick, I I believe this pick I was sniped. Yeah, okay. So I was really wanted Umbreon. But I had to wait 24 picks, and on the way back it got I believe it got on the way back it got taken. Um yeah, it got taken on, and on the way back, unfortunate, and it's actually on a team that's actually defensively disgusting. Shout out to Salazzle. But I really wanted that mon for Baton Pass, for like Wish, and Heal Bell as well. Gives me more defensive as well to deal with like ghost types and psychic types that could be annoying for Komomo and Mega Gardevoir. So that's what I really wanted that. But instead, I'm instead, but because of that, I had to fix my draft because I had a draft plan sort of after the first three picks. I kind of had a draft plan for me, and I just had to throw it out the door, out the window. I wanted Umbreon. I wanted like some. I had to switch up everything. I was even gonna grab War Turtle as my meme pick, but I didn't because of like how things shaped up. So going into this pick, the next two picks, I decided to grab an offensive and a defensive pick. The first, I decided to grab a mon with toxic spikes and can absorb the toxic spikes. It gets T spike spikes. It gets baton pass, and it's actually a very scary threat to deal with to try to break through because this mon can in fact sweep teams, and that is because of its speed boost. And this mon is Scolipede, my Crimson. Oh, that shiny! It's glorious. It's okay. Its defenses, its HP and special attack are like nothing, but like its attack and its speed are really good. And what makes it even better is its speed boost, which in this league we're allowed to pass speed. So, but I can't pass speed with another stat. But Crimson could be huge for this team. I really wanted a way to absorb toxic spikes, and I wanted to be able to set toxic spikes as well. So, for like mons for like Celesteela and stuff like that, and like set spikes and hazard stack as well if I really need to, so I could break things down and like mons that want to switch on a Mega Gardevoir have to take spikes and stealth rocks and like T spikes, which add up a lot, so they're not going to be able to take those hyper voices. Also, I could pass speed into some mons with baton pass, which is really scary. And this thing hits pretty hard as well with like Mega Horn, Poison Jab, Earthquake, Rock Slide. Yeah, and it really scares away the fairy types from Como O. Celesteela and Scolipede are going to be a huge part of scaring away those fairy types against Como O, as well as Mega Gardevoir. It kind of scare. Well, this mon also kind of can scare away electric types in a way with its Earthquake, but it really scare. It really deals with those fairy types as pretty well, and it can hit those really bulky grass types that Celesteela can't leech seed, and that Como O or Mega Gardevoir might have trouble breaking. So that's Scolipede. Its defense stat is actually not that bad at base 89, and Crimson is looking to be a good mon for this season. And I know that some people in my draft said that I believe in the some people were saying that Scolipede was not going to be good on my team. Let's see. Yeah, Crypto. He said that Scolipede will have the worst differential for coming to 7 games or more. We will just have to see about that. This thing is absolute monster, and I'm really excited to use this mon. So coming into next, and then this pick after this pick, I got my Rapid Spinner, another Stealth Rocker, so for more hazards. Got my ground type, so I have a electric immunity for Celesteela, and it's just bulky. It's bulky, and it gets priority as well. Which at the moment I didn't really have much priority. I guess Mega Gardevoir has Shadow Sneak, but you can run it, but I don't recommend really running it that much. But so this one is Donphan, and Donphan Catch Me Rollin' has base 120 defense, which is really good, and base HP in 90. Um, this thing has sturdy, which is very good, and Stanville, I don't think I'd be bringing it at all, especially since I don't think there's a single. I don't think there's. Is there a sand team at all? Yeah, I don't think there's a sand team in our league. There's a rain team, but not a sand team. So, um, yeah, I believe there isn't. Uh, yeah, There's no sand team in the league. So catch me rolling. Earthquake stab, stealth rocks gets roar, rapid spin, ice shard, stone edge, rock slide. It's just a defensive monster, and there's some fun sets I might run, depending on how teams are look. But I feel like Donphan could be just an amazing part of our team. It really could. Catch me rolling can really just be a huge defensive monster for our team. It works pretty well with Celestia, and with the Mons I already have. So, and it really gives me a solid switch into those electric types, which I desperately wanted. Although it has base 60 special defense, Assault Dolphin is actually very viable in in draft league with like rapid spin and stuff like that. So I think it's really good. And I really wanted a rapid spinner so I could set hazards and not have to defog all the hazards away, just spin them away. And with all these defoggers come out, rapid spinners become more vital to teams because all those defiant mons and competitive mons who get those +2 from those defogs, which could be really difficult to get around. But yeah, I think that Stompfan is going to be pretty huge for my team this season. Um, so going all the way down, and coming all the way back, um, I decided to grab my electric type, a fast electric type, and has Volt Absorb, another way to deal with electric types that threaten Celesteela. This thing is also really fast and gives me another speed tier, which I currently don't have that fast of a mom. My fastest mom being Scolipede, even though it has speed boost, but so I have believe 60, 61 Celesteela, 81 I think Como O, 112 Scolipede, 50 Donphan, Mega Gardevoir 100. So my speed tuning is pretty decent. I needed a faster mon and some slower mons and some mons to get in like the 60-ish, the 70 range. Not the 60, the 70 range. So I decided to grab this monster, and it's Jolteon. Look at that thing. It's mayhem. Shout out to Shady Penguin. Um, it's this. I love this. This thing is so cool. Um, and although it doesn't, it's base 110 special attack, so that's pretty good. It doesn't have any attack though or defense, physical defense. And this thing actually gets Wish as well, and Heal Bell, just like Mega Gardevoir. So that's really cool, I think. Which it could be interesting set to bring. And it has base 95 special defense. So people shouldn't underestimate that. I could run this bulky Jolteon with like Volt Absorb and like Wish Protect, stuff like that, and Baton Pass if I really don't want to use Volt Switch. This thing gets Baton Pass. I could set up with something and Baton Pass that out. Very good. Base 110 special attack really is there to get that Volt Switch off and that Thunderbolts and absorb those electric type moves. And has a insane speed set in 130, and it could get even faster if I run the quick feet set with like a flame orb, doubling its speed I believe. So this thing is absolute monster, and hopefully it could put in a work. It gets some coverage moves, but it doesn't get a lot, to be honest. It doesn't really get doesn't it kind of lacks the coverage moves to really be the best electric type. That's why like Tapu Koko is better and stuff like that. And its special attack isn't absolutely insane, but Jolteon can put in the work for this team, and it really fits the structure of the team. I feel Celesteela and Jolteon do pretty well together. Um, only really having that fire weakness of from Celesteela that Jolteon can't handle, but that electric immunity and the ground immunity from Celesteela pretty good. I could just full switch out into things. So I really think Jolteon could be really good in my Mayhem. So again, I have to wait 24 picks, and oh no, actually no, this is then this round. I also decided to grab another a defogger because I feel like I should get at least a rapid spinner and a defog. And looking at my team, I only have one Pokemon a week to rock, so that's really good. This thing actually could be the next one I grabbed right after Jolteon because it's back to back. Actually, is very underestimated, and with speed boost from Scolipede, this thing could be insane. And it has Lurantis. With Contrary, it gets Superpower, it gets Leaf Storm. You better watch out. This thing is Demeter, the grass god, is gonna destroy lives with like defog. Also, I don't think people realize, but in this one, I believe it was on Showdown, there was a situation where I was stuck in. I had a Mega Sableye up against a Lurantis as well, and it just kept, and it just kept. Oh no, yeah, just kept clicking defog on my Mega Sableye, and it bounces back and it gives the opponent a evasion boost, the Lurantis evasion boost, which I know evasion is kind of banned, but you can't really stop that in a way because um in this situation I'm not running an actual move to boost my evasion. It's because of my opponent. So it could really stop like a mon that has magic bounce from staying in on this mon. Um Also superpower, it can be run physically offensive or especially offensive with a leaf storm and superpower and stuff like that. For setup with contrary, base 45 speed, absolutely terrible. Good, but it gives me like another speed tier, like the 40s ish. And I could always pass Scolipede, Baton Pass into Lurantis. Remember how difficult it was in the Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon grass trial? Well, this mon, the only reason it was so difficult is because of that speed boost it got. So, as you could probably think, Lurantis will probably be a god if it gets if it gets enough speed to outspeed a lot of mons, which I'm hoping will happen from a Scolipede speed boost. So hopefully that works out well. And it's I think it's a pretty good mon for only being worth 3 points. Um, and although yeah, so Lurantis my Demeter, hopefully putting in this work this season. I'm really want to bring some interesting sets with this. So the next mon, um I believe, yeah. So we have to wait 2 rounds for this. Oh, we have to wait like 24 picks for this one, and I decide to grab my meme pick, and it might have been a little early because I probably should have grabbed my Z crystal during that, but I didn't, and I got a different Z crystal because I got sniped on the Z crystal. But I really felt like this mon could help with my fire water grass core as a meme pick, and I think it's a top meme pick from a one for a 1 pointer. This thing is pretty good, and that is Monferno, my Jafar Jr. If you don't know, I usually typically call my Infernape Jafar, so this is my Jafar Jr. Its stats aren't that good, but it could hit pretty hard. It gets priority in Mach Punch, and I believe it gets Vacuum Wave as well. Um, it has close combat, Flare Blitz. It gets me a decent offensive fire type that could just hit pretty hard. Um, it's attack and defense, attack and special attack. I could run it both physically offensive or especially offensive. It gets U-turn for momentum, so that's really a good way. Really, what I really wanted because until then I did have Baton Pass on a bunch of mons, but I do have a Baton Pass, but like on like a couple months. But Jolteon was really my only momentum volts turns mon at the moment, so I decided to grab Monferno, and Monferno gets a lot of coverage moves. It does pretty much. It's basically just a lower version, a little worse version of Infernape, just because of the stats. But Monferno is definitely cheaper. At one point, I feel like it could be huge for this season, and hopefully, it puts in the work. And, and um, I don't have much else to say about this thing. I'm Jafar Jr. Uh, just rip teams apart for me, man. Um, so my next mon, I decided to grab another Stealth Rocker, and it completes my Fire Water Grass Core. So this mon, it really fits well with Celesteela. Um, being immune to electric, but also tanking those fire type moves. Gets Stealth Rocks, it gets Roar, it gets a lot of moves, and that is Swampert. My Team Galactic. Okay, so long story short. I named this thing Team Galactic after my Mega Swampert in a double battle league, where my team name was Team Galactic. It was against we played against Crypto, I believe, and I believe he has a video of it. If you look all the way back, where we beat him, but I didn't bring Mega Swampert. But I really thought it was a good way to kind of like um reference that draft league because currently Crypto is up against me in a 2 win. He currently has 2 wins, and I only have 1 win against him. So hopefully Team Galactic can help even the score and put me in the right position. This thing has really good stats, and its only really issue for me is it doesn't get. I don't think it gets reliable recovery. Although, yeah, it doesn't get reliable recovery, and it's 4 times weakness to grass. But I have a lot of things I can deal with grass types with Celesteela and Scolipede just destroying grass types. Monferno absolutely destroys grass types. So I'm not really entirely worried about Swampert getting hit by grass type moves. Maybe just hidden power grass are really worried about, but it's not really that much of a big deal. Swampert is Swampert. Look at those defenses: 90 base to 90 defense, base 100 HP, 110 attack, and base 85 special attack, base 60 speed. It's a little, it's about the same speed tier as Celestial, but I just felt like this mon could fit my team really well, and really the only mon I would take over this in this position would be Seismitoad, but that was taken, so I have Swampert, my Team Galactic, and I feel like this thing could be a defensive monster or offensive monster. Let's not forget, this thing gets like power up punch, it gets set up and stuff like that. And this thing with damp can stop explosions and stuff. So that's really good, I think, in my opinion. Just in case those surprise explosions with like Fortress or like something like that. Get this thing gets stealth rocks, so that's really good as well. Gives me another rocker with Como O and Dawn Fan and Monferno. So that gives me like 4 stealth rockers, so you don't really know which one I'll bring as a stealth rocker. Um, it gets skulled and stuff like that. This thing could be a really pain in people's butt of people's ass if they don't prepare with grass type moves or freeze dry. There's Swampert's pretty difficult to take that, and I have 2 Wish Passers. Although they're not the best HP Wish Passers, they could still Wish Pass to Swampert, and it could be quite a nuisance. Um, that's really Swampert is just a monster, and although Mega Swampert is a monster, I didn't really want to go that path, so that's that. Um, going into my last 2 picks. Um, I decided to grab another water type, a more offensive water type, but a water type. And that is because I wanted another mod to resist the fire types moves and can really scare out those fire types as well. And I wanted another mod who could set up and sweep. Celesteela, Komodo, and Scolipede all could do that, and as well as Lurantis. I guess Mega Gardevoir as well. But I wanted more Mons who could set up and sweep and can actually hit super hard. And with the new Ultra Sun and Moon move tutors, this Mon just became that much better with liquidation. And also it gets sheer force. So that thing, as you probably could start to tell now, this Mon is Feraligatr, my Gator. With Torrent and Sheer Force. Sheer Force is absolutely insane with Feraligatr. Hits so hard and it gets Dragon Dance for setup. Although its speed isn't that good, it does give me a good, decent speed, I believe. Um, no, well actually no, Monferno's pretty close to it in speed, but and so is Como. Como is kind of close, but Feraligatr is a monster, and there was only one other mon. There was 2 other mons I was considering, but I felt like Feraligatr was the better of the 3. And just in case, I won't mention what those mons are, just because I might pick them up because they are still in free agency. As of this video being recorded. So that's really good. It has a base 100 defense, which is nothing to be underestimated with base 85 HP. Has a base 105 attack, but it becomes more insane with the sheer force ability. As we've seen before with Nido Queen and Nido King, sheer force makes Mons an absolute monster. And this thing gets water coverage, ice coverage, earth ground coverage, fighting coverage. Um, just a lot of coverage it gets, and I believe it gets all the elemental fangs as well, and all the elemental punches as well. So that's really good. Um, this mon can be a really scary mon, and it gets me priority as well. So now I have like 3 mons with priority on this team. I believe I don't think Komo gets priority, But so that's really good. It gives me another priority user. Um, and this thing could just be a scary mon to deal with. It could. It's just, I've used it before. I picked it up late in the league, and I probably should have gone it, picked it up earlier. And so I didn't really get to use for Alligator to its full potential. But hopefully this season, for Alligator could set up and sweep and just put in the absolute work. So that's for Alligator. And with the last pick, I'm going to present my Z Crystal, which is in fact the Phytinium Z. This is one of the more. This is the more expensive Z move, Z crystal, but that's because I was sniped on the ground Z crystal and the fire Z crystal, which I both wanted for my team, especially the ground one to help with Celestia. But the Phytinium one is pretty good as well, I think, because all my mons get pretty much fighting coverage, pretty much except for like Jolteon, who gets just like double kick or something like that. And maybe Donphan doesn't get it, I think. But every single other mon on my team has fighting coverage, and this thing has pretty good Z has a couple of Z status moves that I might want to try out this season. Spoiler, like maybe in the future, I don't know. But Titanium Z, I feel like could really fit with my team. It breaks those steel types down that could give me issues. Um, it breaks those it breaks those steel types, those rock types, and those really bulky normal types. Like a Porygon too doesn't want to take a Titanium Z, especially if it's like from a Monocoma O or like Monferno. He doesn't want to take a Titanium Z from a Monferno. None of these and like I have two fighting type mons, so I felt like Titanium Z was pretty good for my team. It really kind of fits it. I might move things around soon, a little bit though, because I there's a couple weaknesses in my team that people might exploit. Which so hopefully, um, so maybe I'll make some transactions, and I'll let you know in the next match video, um, if we if I do make any transactions beforehand. Um, and we're playing Jimmy for the first week. The Pittsburgh Red Steelers, and hopefully we could pick up a win. I feel very good about my squad. Although I got some snipes in there, I feel like it could a decent amount of snipes actually. I feel like my team could really function well as it and hopefully put in the work this season. Um, and maybe hopefully we get to play. Hopefully we beat Crypto in this league, even things up. Commissioner versus commissioner, so it should be interesting. And that's it. Bash.